All right, we're live. We're live. We're live. We're back with Kelz with the Intelz. What's up, Cowboys?
Hey, how are you? Happy
Mad about
Tuesday.
these Cowboys. How about that? Mad about these Cowboys. But we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. We can talk bad about our Cowboy, but don't y'all come on here and talk bad about our Cowboys. How about that? How about
Oh
that?
my gosh.
How about that?
I'm still like what the hell? That's all I gotta say. What the hell? I mean, we played a desperately need to win bad football team. And they
Yeah.
came out from the time the game started to hit 0-0-0 in the fourth quarter and just murked us all up and down the field. And I said like this game was the battle of the undisciplined defenses because their defense is just like ours. A lot of miscommunication. They only stick to playing man. We're playing zone. There's no adjustments. In their defense, their undisciplined defense wrecked us. Oh, and then their offense is not as great either. They're not like ours, but they kept Caleb clean. No sacks, 4 touchdowns,
He
ran
played
off
his he played the best game of his career.
the best game of his career.
Okay, so let me ask this. I felt like that there was more inspiration on the Bears side than it was on the Cowboy side. So, we've got some some variables that were kind of active. For instance, on defense, we blew several coverages in the secondary.
Yes,
And our old secondary coach or DB coach is now on the Bears.
yes, two of them.
Two of them.
Yeah, this
Coach
was
Harris and I
and
don't know who the other.
Cannon Matthews. So
Okay.
I called this game the Flus, Jack Sanborn, Nashawn Wright, Al Harris, Cannon Matthews revenge game. Um, as you know, we had three that left us and went to Chicago. Nashawn Wright, he left us at the end of, somewhere in the 22 season. He went to Tennessee Titans. Then he left there. He went to Chicago. And he was like their backup to the backup cornerback because their other cornerbacks, their top cornerbacks, were not active. So they elevated him. So he was like a starting cornerback.
And
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 then
and so and when you're playing against your old team, that's inspirational and motivational.
exactly.
Especially if you might have wanted to stay there and you were cut or released or waived or just traded and that might not have been what you might have wanted.
Exactly.
Okay. Al Harris, of course, left when Quinn left,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
No, no, oh
No,
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 did
he
he stay?
left
No, 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 no,
last year.
no, 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 no. He
He
left
left
when
last
McCarty
year.
left.
Yeah, when McCarthy left. Yeah.
When McCarthy left, okay. And so they brought in a whole new staff with Shoddy, and
Exact. Yeah.
so Al Harris went to, but I think Al was also the assistant defensive coordinator at Dallas.
Yeah. He was our yeah, he was our secondary defensive back coach and he was the assistant defensive coordinator. And
Right.
when he went to Chicago, he's Their defensive back coordinator, Cannon Matthews, works with uh, the nickel. Yeah, the nickels. But Al Harris is also the defense passing coordinator for the Bears. And he knows that defense, even though there's a new coaching staff. He knows that team because he drafted the players that is still on our roster,
Yes.
except for Trayvon Diggs, because he came in. Trayvon Diggs came in with Mike Nolan, and I want to say the only thing that kind of made me nervous is that when Flus came back to the organization as the DC, he also brought Overstreet with him because he was fired the same time that Flus was. Um, and then we have some other coaches, I can't think of their name right now, that came from Chicago as well. So
So I felt
that's
like
the only thing that made me nervous.
Yeah, that they were more inspired to beat their old coaches as opposed to them being inspired to beat the team that fired them.
Exactly. So it's a lot that went down. Like I on offense, I did not like the play where they had CeeDee Lamb lined up in the backfield because what happened? He got
He
injured.
got injured.
He came back. I mean, and I applaud him for trying to come back after testing his ankle. I'll see if he could play it, but to me that was too risky. Um, and then yesterday it came out that the initial report he was going to miss 4 to 6 weeks, and I was like, oh Lord, here we go. And
Every
an
year is
hour,
somebody.
yeah, then an hour later it came back that it's not 4 to 6 weeks. He's only going to miss 2 games. I said, okay. And they're not
Okay.
going to put him on IR. Few hours later, reports come out that our first round rookie, right guard Tyler Booker, is going to miss 4 to 6 weeks with the same injury that CeeDee Lamb had, which is a high ankle sprain.
Thank spring.
Um, and I went back to look at the game because I'm like, did they really keep this on the wraps? But I saw where it happened. It happened towards the end of the fourth quarter, where someone landed on his ankle, and then it was another play that came out right after that, and his ankle kind of shifted a little bit, and that's what it was. So he was walking on it fine, but and then he got on the airplane. I don't know how much, with the air, the air quality, all the other stuff, because you're 40,000 feet in the air. That could have made it swell more. But the next day, he could not walk on it. So they did tests and all that other stuff, and then it came out he's gonna miss 4 to 6 weeks. Um, but what I was telling someone, we're in a position now. Um, we're in a good position because we do have hybrids on offense. So more than likely, I do have the starting lineup for uh hey V.
Hey
I,
V.
I do have the starting lineup for because next Sunday we meet up with Micah Parsons.
Yeah, Vegas already has us losing.
Well, I had us losing that game back in February. Um, so the starting offensive line for Sunday against Green Bay is going to look like this. Tyler Guyton, left tackle, left guard will be Tyler Smith, center, Brock Hoffman, right guard TJ Bass. He plays everything except for center. Um, and of course the right tackle Terrence Steele, who blew a lot of coverage that got Dak sacked.
I thought Guyton did too.
Yeah, but not as much as Terrence Steele.
Yeah,
Is
on some of the play calling, I was like, why is he hitting the check down so quickly? And I was like, was the pressure like that where you didn't have time to
that
look up the field? I mean, because
when
it was twice on third and long, and he threw it short. He threw it to his check down, to his last resort to the check down. And I was like, what is this?
But but like I said last week, remember I said it's going to be a trap game, and the only two words I had was Al Harris. He designed a good
Good.
passing game for
Yes.
their defense. I
And
mean,
I
I have
knew
to give
he
props to
would,
him.
but you knew he was going to.
Right. And then I'm still having issues like why, like between this game and even with the game against New York, there were no adjustments made on defense by Flus. And that just like New York, Chicago Bears is predominantly running a man press coverage scheme. Why are we doing zone? You have knowledge. You play a little bit of man. So why? Okay, and it's like you have
Again,
to tailor. You
to
have to
me, he
tailor.
was exposed on why he was fired from Chicago. To me, he's one of these typical coaches that was able to get passed through the system, knew the right people, and was able to get an NFL job, but can't coach.
Right. And then the one thing that I have always said, and this has been going on for years, we need coaches, whether it's on defense and offense. We need coaches that design schemes and plays based on the
the,
talents
the
of
talent
the
and the
players
personnel
that they
and the
have.
players that you have.
Right.
You cannot come walk in and this is my playbook and then expect the athletes to learn your system.
And adapt
It
to it.
does not work that way. And
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 when
I don't understand how these grown men that get paid these millions of dollars that grew up playing football and then turning around and coaching don't understand that.
right. And then it brings me back to the secondary. You do not have a zone secretary. Trayvon Diggs is a man press cornerback. So why you have him running zone? He has from from the time that he's been with the team, even when we had Mike Nolan, and even when we got DQ and Al Harris, they were running man, and also they were running zone. But what happened? They tailored it based to whoever they were playing. So if they know they were coming up against a team and all they play is zone, okay, so we're going to run a zone defense. Uh, and then that's when they will probably move Trey into a slot position. They will have somebody else on the outer boundaries. Like when we had Gilly. Gilly played both. He plays man and zone. So they will put him on the outside. Um and then the corners that we have that predominantly play zone is on IR. Savone Revel, Kalen Carson, uh um Deron Bland, he plays zone.
Mm-hmm.
So the ones you have, they're basically man. Kyer Elam plays man, but you're busy playing a zone defense with a team that's predominantly playing man.
And see, there will be some people that will come on this show and act like we don't know what the heck we're talking about. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, okay, help me, help me to make it make sense. You guys played this game. You grew up coaching this game, and y'all don't have no common sense when it comes to your game plan.
Hello. And and like I said, Flus has to get out of his stubborn ways. He has to tailor.
And most of them are like that. They're like, this is my system, and we're gonna run my system.
Right.
Come hell or high water, I'm running my system.
Yeah. But I'm
Because
trying to.
somewhere it worked back in the day, right? I mean, that's the reason why Oklahoma's coach just got fired today, and why Dabo Sweeney is on the hot seat. They're all talking about what they used to do and what worked in the past. Well, whatever worked then ain't working now.
Right. And my thing is, and if you're going to run zone, we have to have a pass rush. Right now, we're playing musical chairs with pass rush. Um, but Jadeveon Clowney, he will be active for Green Bay.
Okay.
So the thing is, who are they going to dress? Because normally they they dress like five DEs. So who's going to sit out? It's going to be Dante Fowler. It's going to be Marshawn Nealon. It's going to be the second round draft pick that we got, Donovan Azaraku. Who? Who?
Somebody's going
Who?
to sit.
Who's going to sit down? Because outside of Clowney, and I'm only saying outside of Clowney because he's new. He's new to Dallas. But everybody else has been here. They've been for training camp, OTAs, mini camp. They played some preseason games. You have to make an example out of all of them because the ones that I just named outside of Clowney, you really haven't been doing much. I mean, like I haven't gotten the update from this game, but based on the pressure rate for our D linemen from the game against New York, James Houston 16.7%, Sam Williams 14.3%, Dante Fowler 12.2, Mashawn Nealon and Donovan Azaraku tied for 11.5%. Kenny Clark, with just the one game he played since the trade, he came in at 7.3, which is good. And Osa Odigizua tied for the same with Kenny Clark at 7.3. Solomon Thomas was 4.3, and Jay Toia was 0. And the only reason why Solomon is kind of low because he's a rotational guy for Osa Odigizua. But he's been holding his own. But when it comes to the top 5 DEs that I'm looking at, James Houston, even though he does play a little bit of linebacker, but Sam Williams, Dante Fowler, Marshawn Nealon, and Ezzy. If I wanted to make an example, I would probably sit out Dante Fowler for this game and say, you know what, you're going to sit out. We're going to let Clowney in. Someone has to be made an example out of.
Somebody is in. Who's it going to be?
I think it has to be Dante because he's like since Micah is no longer in the building, he's like DE1.
Yeah. Hmm. So what impact do you think Clowney's going to have when on Sunday?
Well, he said he still has a lot of gas in the tank. He does apply a lot of pressure. I have watched the teams that he has been on. We'll just see. I'm like this. Just prove me wrong.
I mean, we just need somebody to step up. I don't know who it's going to be. It's already a long season.
Yeah, and with this game, like on the other podcast I told him, I said it's going to be a shootout, and the game won't be final. You won't know who wins until like the final possessions of the fourth quarter. Well, we saw what that happened. That part was true. It's I don't know. I'm just honestly, and when I look at it, the way we've been playing, we're technically a 0-3 team because we played two outside of Philly. We played two bad teams. We barely won.
Yeah.
Last week. And when you look at it, like now that it's all said and done on paper, we're basically a 0-3 team.
But I'll take a win. A win is a win. But based off of our schedule, who we gonna beat?
Well, let's look at this schedule.
Based off our schedule, who we gonna beat?
Because I had us winning.
Seven,
I actually have us winning like 8
or 9.
8 or 9, and this was before injuries, a Micah trade, and all this other stuff. I had us going 8 or 9 wins because everything is new. We have a new coaching staff, new playbook. It's going to take Shotty at least year 2 to get the kind of scheme that he wants, the players he wants. And also to look at, okay, I like what we did this season, but there's some things that happened this season I did not like. And these are the areas I want to improve. So I thought year 2 will be the year that you could actually see everything gel. So I was telling people in Cowboy Nation, don't expect a lot out of this season.
Mm-hmm.
You
gotta give them time to adjust to the new system,
right?
And here's Dak's been there how many years, and this how many offensive coordinators and systems has he had to learn?
Right, and the thing about it is, I like what, except for that flea flicker that happened. I saw that. But I like what Shotty is doing with Dak. Dak is playing good, but his receivers has to come through.
The ball that hit what's his name? In the hands and then ended up being an interception. That is not on Dak. The ball hits you in the hands. Catch the ball.
Right.
The ball hits you in the hands. Catch the ball.
And then he stopped the route on top of that. And then I'm also going to tell you that first interception, that Jalen Tolbert, that wide receiver, he messed up on that block that caused that interception. So you had a receiver that dropped the ball, and then you had Jalen Tolbert,
who didn't get his block.
And I'm wondering, like, and I'm just trying to figure out what it is, because it's not only
about that. I don't know why they get mad when again, my husband's favorite thing is don't play the victim and why you get mad when you created the problem. Catch the freaking
Right.
ball. You get paid to catch the ball.
Right.
I mean, you're professionals. We're not watching college. We're not watching pee wee, middle school, high school. We're not. Y'all are professionals, and y'all get paid to do a job.
Yep. And I'm just trying to figure out what is it, because it's not only with Shoddy, but also happened with Coach McCarthy. What is it that you put Jalen Tolbert in these critical situations
And he don't come through.
and he don't come through?
And are you, and when are y'all gonna notice that?
I'm just saying, like, and I'm
Well, I
looking
mean,
at
when are you gonna notice it? I mean,
it,
put him on a bench and replace him.
and that's another issue that I have, and this is outside of Cowboys, and I
I
know
was getting ready to say this is outside of any sport. And I'm just saying is when it's different levels. You know, there's a reason why there's a million kids in Pop Warner or whatever, and then once they get up to middle school, that number dwindles down. Once they gets up to high school, that number dwindles down. Only 1% make it to the D1 level in football, and then less than 1% make it to the NFL. Okay, but even at those levels, sometimes just because you were good at the level before don't mean that that's going to translate to the next level. And
exactly.
sometimes some of these players, they were just great college players and they're not great pros.
Right. And I also want to know how much of this has to deal with uh the NFLPA, um the NFLPA, or or the CBA. If you making all this money, I'm gonna answer that question for in a minute, V. Uh you making all this money, they have to put you out there. I remember a time when Jimmy Johnson really didn't care how much you was getting paid. If you ain't doing it, all right,
If you
you
ain't
meant
doing it, I'm good. Yes, next receiver up, next man up. And I do feel like and this with NIL, we're kind of seeing that on the college level where these boosters or whatever feel like that if they're paying or giving the school some money to play certain players, they want to see those players play. But what they don't understand is, but they're not who we think that they are.
right.
When the players when they don't show up to be who they are, then they need to be replaced.
I agree.
And you just need to chalk it up. And again, I don't know who I think it was on my podcast, and we was talking about before when NIL first came out. And I was like, why isn't it incentive based? Maybe he was like, as a basketball, I was talking to a basketball coach, and he said, well, you can't make it incentive based because then now everybody's a selfish player. Nobody's gonna pass the ball, and everybody's gonna do whatever they need to do in order to get their money based off of their contract. I said, okay, cool. But then what is a solution? I said, because there needs to be something where y'all get paid based off of your performance.
Right. I agree. Yep. So V, the next receiver, good question, because the next one would be Jonathan Mingo. However, he's still on IR. He has to miss 4 games. So this will be game 4. So we probably won't see Jonathan Mingo until maybe week 5, week 6, or week 7. And he's another power body, just like um CeeDee Lamb. He was heavily high on the Cowboys draft chart the year that he was drafted, but Carolina snuck their way back up in the second round and jumped over us and got him, because we was going to get him in the second round of, when did he come in? 2022? Yeah, 2022. So Yeah. So honestly, I think it will be Ryan Flournoy, who we got last year in round 6
Hmm.
in 2023.
Yeah, I just think that that's what, I just think that's what it is. And it's kind of like, even in college, they have the star rating where you're a 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, 5 star. And I've learned that there are more 3 stars that are better than 4 stars and 5 stars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're still basing their talent based off of someone's opinion, right? And I'm not. I would love to be a scout. Would love to be a scout, right? But because you're like, okay, well, what are the variables that you don't talk about? Who did he play at? Where did they play in college and high school? You know what I mean? Because I think that does make a difference. I mean, if you're playing in, I don't know, wherever you playing at, and y'all in the competition, and you're the man there, yeah, you look good coming off the bus and getting on the draft chart. But then that don't. But everybody's good once you get in the NFL.
Yeah. And you know what? And like you said, as far as scouting, if I was a scout for the Cowboys and I was to see Coach Shoddy in the food line where they get their food in their cafeteria, I would nicely tell him like what you did with CD Lamb on that Chicago Bears game. Don't do it again.
Was irresponsible.
Because I don't have another receiver or a personnel receiver
That
in
that
his
yeah,
caliber
yeah.
that I can replace him with for a certain amount of games or weeks or whatever.
Especially with how much salary cap he's taking up.
Hello. And let me talk about a little bit about that with that. I'm tired of seeing comments. We're paying Dak and CD Lamb all this money. They making 40 million a year. Da, 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 da. Dak and CD Lamb are on restructuring contract. They have a restructuring clause in their contract. So even though Dak Prescott makes 40 something million a year, CD Lamb makes 29 something million a year. The only thing that Dak saw last year of that contract was 25 million. What he's seeing this year is 28 million. The thing is, they get the rest of that money on the back end. That's why we was able to get a lot of money that we did for this year's cap space because of the restructuring that happened on that clause on both Dax and CD Lamb's contract.
And they should. And I don't understand why Dak wouldn't
Right,
give up some of his salary so that he can bring in some linemen. I'm just
right.
saying.
And not only that,
Both
but
of them, CD too. Him and CD both should be. That's why when Dak and Zeke both had got their contracts, I'm like, y'all, between both of y'all's contracts, y'all's offensive line should be, and the number twos should be the bomb.
the only difference with Zeke's contract was his was like all guaranteed money.
Hmm.
That's the only difference with his
Hmm.
contract. His was guaranteed. But then they'll say, we Jerry Jones should have had paid Dak all that money. No, the NFL paid Dak all that money. This is where it falls in Jerry Jones' hand. Dak's contract should have been done when the league year opened for 2024 last March. You wait until 2 hours before the first season game against Cleveland to sign him to a contract. Well, guess what? They ain't had nothing to do with that. You let all these quarterbacks get paid So every time a quarterback or any position on a team gets paid, guess what happens? The market reset. The last one before Dak got his money was Trevor Lawrence. And I'm trying to think, did Trevor Lawrence ever make it or ever see a playoff game? I'm still trying to remember if he's seen
No.
it. And if not, you let Mr. Head and Shoulders, because that's what I call him. He look like a person for a Head and Shoulders commercial. You have him making all this money, and he's coming in at 50, I think $50 million a year, if I'm not mistaken. But Florida like to tax the crap out of you, so I don't know how much of that 50 he's seeing.
Right.
But he's making 50 something million. Of course, he reset the market. So guess who was the only quarterback left that did not get paid? Dak Prescott. If you gotta be mad at somebody, be mad at the market rate for these player positions, and be mad at Jerry for not signing him when he was supposed to.
When he was
Him
supposed
and
to
CeeDee
sign.
Lamb.
Whew.
And I tell people needs to, instead of looking at on the field, also look at the business. And the thing is, a lot of these contracts is public record. Once it's been signed, notarized, and all the other stuff, it's public record. Anybody can pull up the contract. How do you think I pulled up Micah's contract for
Right.
Green Bay?
Maybe, yeah. Okay. Good to know. Good to
Mm-hmm.
know. Good to know. Okay, well, what are we gonna do about this defense?
uh, so I need to go and look at the kind of offense that Green Bay is running. I want to say I think they're another man team, if I'm not mistaken.
First of all, they just lost to Cleveland.
And did you see what Micah put up?
What Micah say?
No, Mike only had a half of a sack. He didn't even have one
He
full
didn't have
sack.
a full sack.
And I think he only allowed, I think it was like a negative something pressure. I have to go back and pull it up. But I mean, basically, he's doing the same thing he was doing when he was with us.
Yeah,
And of course, and guess what? He had a hissy fit too,
he did.
talking all this craziness.
Talking all that mess.
Yeah, I said, see, that's Green Bay's problem now. That they gotta deal with that. Um, but I want to say they run man, which means Flus. You cannot run zone. So I'm
Luce let his quarterback
I'm
that they thought was garbage, and that was Joe. So who was y'all their offensive coordinator when he was there? Because he just made you look foolish.
and the thing is, like, one thing I said when I did my notes for the Bears offense, I did say Caleb can make something out of nothing, which he did. He can use his legs without scrambling. He could throw off platforms and can run the ball if pressured. Caleb can also make 6 conversions. He has the ability to diagnose the defense. He doesn't play. He does. I'm sorry. He does a lot of contorting with his body. However, if he's off his square, he panics easily. He improved on that. He was real cool, calm, and collected in the pocket.
Because he
He
had a
will
couple of passes that were inaccurate, but you know what I mean. But he didn't wallow in it.
right. He only got frazzled a little bit. He will abandon the pocket if he has to. He could spin in and out of a sack. Um, and he's the only thing is he had since he's been in the league. is having difficulty being patient enough in the pocket. Well, he was very patient in the pocket. He didn't do a lot of spinning in and out to avoid a sack. Because they kept him clean. His O line kept him clean. He had no sacks, no nothing.
And that's not like our defense.
Right. And that's not like their offense either.
And that's not like their offense. Yeah, they
Right.
stepped up. But you know what? Again, it was we were the Bears Super Bowl.
Right. They didn't have a lot of
He didn't have any pressure. We didn't pressure at all.
right. They from the time that this season started, it's been poor communication on the offensive line, but that offensive line and that communication with Ben Johnson, it was gelling. They they had the most offensive penalties. I think I have to go back and see how many penalties they had, but they were real. I mean, I was like, where was this? Like, they, and of course Roma Duze. I'm gonna tell you the one that killed me, and it was that same, like, I don't know what Malik Hooker was doing. I don't know what was going on. But DJ Moore is in the middle of the end zone, just chilling, wide open.
Wide open.
Wide
Okay,
open.
okay. So my husband
and Caleb saw him and just hiked the ball. And I was like,
my husband is the defensive coach, right? And there's still rules to the game, whether you're in a man-to-man or whether or not you're in a zone. There are rules, right? And so everybody has a key. And you're not getting ready to tell me somebody missed their key.
yep.
Or you were looking most of the time when somebody's wide open like that, you're looking in the backfield. Your eyes are caught up in the backfield, and you're not seeing what's going on over here because your eyes are so fixated on the quarterback in the backfield. That's elementary type
Bull crap.
Yes, fundamental type stuff. Not at the pro level.
And then DeAndre Swift, he was just running all over the place. I'm like, and I was saying that great. His north and south is really not that great, but I give props where props do. He is a fast running back, and he's not great at doing like the dirty work and the heavy lifting, like being a power back and all this other stuff. But just like Caleb is, once the pocket collapse, he is a threat for that defense. Let that pocket go. He's gone. Bye. I'm just, and then they ran and one thing that they're known for, that they have been doing, they did it with this one. They did run routes starting in bunch formations, condensed splits. And of course they kept the outside leverage, which is the 12 personnel. They also ran routes, digs, seam routes, options, and crossers. I'm just looking like defense,
But again, in high school, on defense, there are just certain rules.
Exactly.
When it comes to reading your keys, and there should never be somebody wide open in the end zone.
Like
it happened twice that I remember. It might have happened more than that, but I just remember twice where there was a blown coverage or somebody missed their assignment, like you said, B, where somebody missed their assignment and somebody caught the ball wide open. This is the NFL. That should not be happening.
Definitely not.
Again, that didn't happen when we had Al Harrison running our secondary the last however many years. That never happened when Al Harris was running our secondary. So what are you teaching?
I like I said, when I saw when when I remembered when it came to me that we also had some coaches that came with flus from Chicago, that's what made me nervous. So I was able to pull it up. This time we were the most penalized teams. And during this uh
But when we're losing and we're coming from behind and we're behind the sticks or whatever like that, the level of frustration gets there. When
right,
you're frustrated and you're getting your butt whooped like that,
and
then
giving
then
up
you
130 yards
you're more
per
likely to
game.
get, yeah, you're more likely to be
Yeah, and like I said, they
your
were
emotions are
desperate.
going to be fly, so you're going to get more penalties.
Right, and they were desperate to play, to win this game
Yes.
for Ben Johnson. Like I look at like with their first downs, we had 23, they had 19. Third downs, we had 6 to 14, they had the same. Total yards, we had 396, they had 387, 385. When it came to the rushing yards, we had 121. And one thing I can say that we did this year, we are committed to the run.
Run game.
We
Yeah.
are committed to the run. Um,
and
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 they
you
had
and you
80. They
have to
had
be.
87. Passing yards, we had 275. They had 298. Penalties, we had 14 penalties that cost us 160 yards, where they had 12 that cost them 106. And this is one thing I also look at, is like the time of possession. We had 32 minutes 58 seconds compared to that 27 minutes and 2 seconds they had. They scored 31 with less time of
With
possession.
less time and possession, and so again, we're looking good on the stats, but the stats didn't translate into a win, and it should have. So we had how many interceptions? Two,
Three.
three,
Three.
three interceptions.
Three interceptions.
Any fumbles? Or those the only three turnovers?
I'm about to pull it up now. Let's see.
Because what was the turnover ratio? V. Williams only had
Four.
one.
We had 4 turnovers. They had
Four
none.
turnovers, and they had no turnovers. Okay, you
None.
definitely can't win like that. And that's, to me, that's the whole part of the game right there, is why we lost. Even though we were leading in most of the stats, you can't win the game with four turnovers. Who fumbled? Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's because was another Jalen Tote missed his block.
missed his block. Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to say, trying to figure out what is it
So
with Jalen
why do y'all
Tolbert that
feel, yeah,
we
why do y'all feel like y'all can, I mean, what is he bringing to the table? I guess his positives, I'm not seeing his positives outweighing the negatives.
right.
So why do you still keep him on the field?
And then we should have used, in my opinion, we should have used Cavante Turpin a lot in this game.
And we didn't.
And we didn't.
And why aren't we using Turpin? Because he's
He's like
bad.
our gadget. He's like our gadget. Turpin.
Yeah. So why didn't we use Turpin?
That's what I'm saying. It's like,
He's a beast.
and that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like what? Like
Now, are we using him on special teams, like kickoff return, or I mean,
so they're switching up between him and Jalen Tolbert, which I don't like. That's why, and I'm trying to figure out why they're not. And I kind of know why we're not using Jaden Blue a lot, because he's still trying to understand the playbook. But Jaden Blue is also supposed to be our return specialist. and he has not seen the film yet. And so we may not even see Jaden Blue probably until towards the end of this season.
I agree with you. I thought the play calling was horrible. Dak is definitely not comfortable in the offense. To me. And then there was a couple times where he was like he couldn't hear, and I'm like, okay, if you can't hear, you can't just audible. I mean, you should have you're a professional quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys in the NFL for how many years? So if you can't hear and you can't get the play call, you should be able to read the defense and make a daggone play.
So
What
one
is
thing
the down the distance? I mean, come on.
So one thing I do know, when it comes to away games, because sometimes like where I sit at, I can hear when plays are being called. When they do away games, Dak does a silent call because of course
Because you
you're not,
can't hear.
yeah, you can't hear, you're at your own, you're at you're not at your home, you're at an
Yeah,
away team, and it's loud, you can't hear
yeah.
anything. But when the home team is there, it's quiet, so you can hear the calls that's being said. So when there is an away game, Dak does a silent call where he lifts his leg. He lifts his leg 2 times. The right guard. So let's say if Zach Martin was in,
Mm-hmm.
Zach Martin is like his blind side. He looks to his left where he can see Dak. So when he see his leg lift up 2 times, he makes a jolt move with his right hand to signal the center to snap the ball.
Okay.
So, but when he's at home, you'll hear him say something, then you hear him say, "Here we go," and
There we go. Right. Yeah.
as soon as that "here we go" is done, then the ball
And
snaps.
ball snap. Yeah. Yeah.
And the thing is,
I
he
knew he does
has
a silent count, but my thing is even with a silent count, I don't know, if they're sending you the play call and you can't freaking hear, at some point you should be able to read the damn defense and know what the freaking play what the play call needs to be. And how
right.
and I guess I would love to talk to a professional quarterback. Like even I would love to talk to Tom Brady and be like, how often did you audible out of a call because you saw something different?
But the thing is, Bill Belichick gave him
The green light to be able to do that.
to do an audible.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how much, you know,
Yeah.
and Shoddy, I think Shoddy will give him, like, if he sees some, like if he's reading the defense and he can't see it, I think Shoddy will give him the leeway to call an audible, unlike Mike McCarthy. And the only time that Dak did call an audible on against a Mike McCarthy coaching error was when he was out with COVID and Dan Quinn was the intern, and we had Kellen Moore
As the OC.
OC,
Mm-hmm.
because that game, because even Kellen Moore said that during that game, even though we won, that Dak called audibles on 98% of the play calling he had. That was the only time in a Mike McCarthy coaching era where Dak called an audible.
Gotcha. So Tom Landry invented the silent count by lifting the leg with Roger Staubach in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And he said that seems like the most scrutinized professional franchises are the Lakers and the Cowboys, and both Jerry and Bryant are blamed for their failures. I agree.
Yeah. Shoot, I could be the quarterback for the Cowboys, and guess what? I haven't even touched the field yet, and I get blamed for something. I said, shoot, all I did was just brought the Gatorade out. What you want me?
Yeah. Okay, girl. Well, how do we win this game this Saturday? I mean, this Sunday. We're on prime time on Sunday night, on Sunday Night Football, and Vegas has us losing. How do we beat Green Bay?
A wing and a prayer.
On Saturday. I mean, on this upcoming Sunday. So
we're getting ready to be. I don't know.
We're getting ready to be 1-3. Okay, so didn't some okay, so Russell Wilson got benched.
Yeah, for Jackson Dart.
For Jackson Dart. Oh my God. We went up against Jackson. We beat Jackson Dart. By the way, Kentucky beat Jackson Dart at Ole Miss last year. I think somebody else was on the hot seat. Atlanta's coach, Raheem. Is that Raheem or is that somebody else?
I don't think he's on the hot seat. I know. No, it's their. It's their. I saw something with their OC or something.
Is it with their offensive coordinator?
Yeah. I mean, because some of the Falcon games I've seen, Raheem been doing pretty good.
Oh, he's a good coach. I like him.
Yeah.
B said we can win this game.
I'm not there yet.
I think every game is winnable, but you have to you can't turn the ball over 4 times. That's for sure.
Right. They're
looking like my middle school team turning the ball over.
So hold on. I'm still going to talk, but I'm also going to find out what kind of hold on. Google. Hey Alvin, you could do this too. Look, see, hi Mr. Alvin. I'm sorry. I'm about to bark some demands at you, and I didn't even say, hey, how you doing? Is the sky blue or nothing? See if Green Bay, because I can't recall right now. Are there zone or man? Do they play a lot of zone or do they play a lot of man?
Dak said they stopped themselves, and they did stop themselves with 4 turnovers. You do stop yourself with 4 turnovers, because if you look at she just put all the stats, we were leading in most statistical categories, and so what turnovers? 4 turnovers was the the game. Oh, he said he'll check.
Okay, I'm looking now. So the Packers predominantly use zone coverage. So they're deep. So last year's defense, they played zone 78% of the time, which is the 9th highest in the NFL. But the thing is, what they're playing this year. So that's gonna be in Fluce's wheelhouse. But are they gonna play cover 2, cover 3, cover 4?
But Green Bay had Fluce's number when he was there.
Yeah. And how long was Fluce the coach for Chicago?
I don't know, because I know
I know he came from Indiana.
Aaron Rodgers had made them his,
BI.
Yes.
So they play zone with a mix of man. So here's the thing. Because their defensive coach, their defensive coordinator, is he going to be a petty MFer? We're going to play man the whole time. You see what I'm saying? Like, are they going to tailor it that way?
It'll be interesting. So I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. But one of the corners is Carrington Valentine, who played at the University of Kentucky. That's my guy. He plays corner. He's a beast. And you're right too, Mr. Brown. And bear in mind that Parkins may bark out offensive schemes based on his years with the Cowboys. Yes.
But you know what though?
But my thing is, I think they have all new. I think the reason why Dak looks like he is struggling is because they have a whole new offense. Whole new offensive
But the
scheme.
thing is, Dak has been doing good. That's the thing. And the only thing that Micah could bark all day, every day with the offense. But the thing is, the only thing he's going to bark out is the vanilla playbook. He don't know this playbook.
He don't know this playbook. Yeah, he don't know this playbook. Yeah, he don't know this playbook.
And they don't sit in on the offense
Maybe he does. He was there long enough to learn a playbook.
for Shoddy.
Yeah.
They've been when they was gearing up for preseason, they was looking at the vanilla playbook. That's just and that's why
that was just for the preseason. So he's only seen the preseason.
Yeah. And then like even with Flus said that everything that they were doing in preseason was the defensive vanilla playbook. He didn't show anything for the regular season. Now I'm like, are we still in the vanilla playbook for Flus? Because
right. Because, what are we doing?
But my thing is, you made tons of adjustments when we played Philly, and Philly gave us every opportunity to win that game.
Philly gave us every opportunity to win that game. That was a winnable game.
It was. But Fergie, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what's going on with the offense. Fergie dropped a critical pass. CD Lamb.
And that was the game that CD Lamb dropped 3 passes. So
four.
I mean,
He
that ain't 4. Yeah, that's not on Dak. I mean, you're right, V. I think Dak looks good. And then there was something that I saw where Dak is like number 1 in, and everything. Right. Well, before this game, I don't know if he's still there, but they said when you looked at everything or whatever at the at his quarterback rating, he's like the number 1.
Yeah. And we entered in to the Chicago game with the number 3 offense.
But to me, it's not just receivers. They always fail to connect on getting premier anything. You know what I mean? Like when people that we need to keep, we don't. People that we don't need to keep, we do. When it comes to premier players. And whether it's defense, offense, offensive line, or whatever, people that we need to keep, we don't keep them.
And then I'm like, they activated Mozzie Smith, which I was like,
wow. Did Zion get activated?
No, he wasn't activated for this one.
Well, keep me posted when they activate my baby.
I will. I do.
Okay.
And now like, okay, so who's gonna play opposite? Like what V said, who's gonna play opposite
Micah?
No, not Micah, of Pickens.
Oh, Pickens, yes.
Are they gonna put
now that CD is out? Who they gonna put there?
Are they gonna put Ryan Flournoy there? They better not put Jalen Tolbert there. I will jump through the TV my damn self.
It's gonna be Tolbert. Watch.
And
we're gonna both be watching this TV like this.
And the thing is, I'll be home for this game because my fan club, we don't do night watch parties unless it's like on how long will Clark be out? I didn't get anything saying that he's going to be out yet. But yeah, his ankle got rolled up, but he was walking, he walked on his own. I didn't get anything as far as him being out. It better not be Jalen Tolbert. I will have a fit, and I'll be home. Cause yeah, my club, we don't, like I said, we don't do night games unless it falls on like a 3-day holiday or we in playoff contention.
Okay.
But
Well,
I might have like I've been cutting back on libations. I may have a libation in my arsenal just in case. I don't know. I'm still trying, and I'm not reneging on your question. I'm still trying to figure out how we're going to win this game. I don't know.
how are we gonna win this game?
I haven't done my
We
keys
can't turn
to
the
the
ball
game.
over.
Yeah, I,
And Micah is gonna be inspired, and Micah is gonna get their team is gonna be inspired. He's gonna own the locker room, and he's gonna have them hyped and inspired to beat the Dallas Cowboys. Not just beat them, but beat us like Chicago just beat us.
yeah. I don't. Uh,
It's gonna be ugly. We're gonna be one and
it's
three.
gonna be an ugly game. I still think that Flus needs to get out of his comfort level, and
Flus needs to be fired.
I know everybody was saying, but see, here's the question that nobody has an answer to, because all I kept saying was Flus, even with the game with the Giants, Flus needs to be fired, and then after this game, oh yeah, he definitely needs to go. Who's gonna be fired? Who we're gonna replace him with?
Who gonna replace him, girl?
Nobody has an answer to that.
Who gonna replace him?
Before y'all say fire this person, fire that person, please have somebody in line that can take. You don't have nobody to replace him with. I'm talking about on staff,
I
and
agree.
even if someone, you get someone off the street, you mean to tell me you going to hire somebody, you on 5 Flus as soon as the plane arrived to DFW, you going to hire another defensive end off the street that's not even in your own office to run a defense and have a whole new game plan and all this other stuff ready to go so you could play Green Bay Packers in a
It
few
ain't working
days.
now. It ain't working right now.
And I'm like,
I
use your
mean, what
com
you don't have nothing to lose. And I totally get what you're saying.
yeah,
I'm just joking. You know what I mean?
right.
As far as inspiring him, because you just can't do that. You gotta give you gotta give them a chance to fix it. It's only been 3 games and it's a whole new system, right? And so you have to give you have to give some grace because you got to give them time, like you said. You When it's a whole new system, you can't expect a whole new system to come in and be successful unless you're the freaking Commanders
Right.
who had a whole new system. But you also
Yeah,
had
they
a
had a
coach that
whole
but
they
you
had a
also
whole
had
new
a
system
coach
last year.
but you also had a coach that was a successful defensive coordinator
Who's also
that,
was stuck
who,
in his
who
ways too.
who also was stuck in his ways too, but also learned from his mistakes as a previous head coach. At least he had head coaching experience, and now you could sit back and reflect on, you know what? If I ever get my opportunity to be a head coach again, I'm going to do this, and this differently. And obviously, to me, that's what's happened because the Commanders totally turned that thing around last year.
Mm-hmm.
And how long is their quarterback going to be out? Because if it wasn't for the fact that
I
he's out, they would
saw
be feeling it.
something. Hold on. Do I don't think I clicked on it, but I did see the notification pop up. Was it on um who dropped it? Was it the NFL or ESPN? So he's still day to day. It was on ESPN. Um, they say he is set to deliver if he plays. Um, his knee injury cost him week 3, but if he plays, regardless of foe, how can so he's day to day.
I liked Dan as a defensive coordinator too. I thought he
Excuse
was
me.
really, really good. The only thing was I forgot which playoff game it was
Green
that
Bay.
he was it the Green Bay game that I
Green
thought
Bay and San Francisco.
I thought he sabotaged the defense. And this is just my conspiracy theory. Don't nobody quote me or anything. I felt like he knew that Mike McCarthy was on a hot seat, and I think he wanted the Dallas Cowboys head job, and I felt like he sabotaged the defense on those games,
That was the
so
Green
that
Bay.
he could and thinking that he would be able to be the next head coach for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, and then Jerry said he's gonna keep him for another year, and then that's how he went
And
to
that's how he ended up leaving and going
in
to the
Washington.
Commanders.
But he
Yes,
also sabotaged the game with San Francisco as well
yes,
because he did not adjust.
yes. Not like he did on all the other games.
Right.
Yeah, totally agree. You're like, what did you doing?
But he did that with for the Super Bowl when he was the head coach
Oh,
for
for
Atlanta.
Atlanta when
Like you let them come back.
you let them come back from 21 down,
Yeah. You
but it
went
also was Tom Brady.
Yeah, you went into halftime. You went into
Up
halftime
21 points.
28 and they had 3. And you let them come back and you didn't do no
No
adjustments.
adjustments. You were comfortable that they wouldn't be able to catch up with based off of the league. You
And
were
my thing
comfortable,
is
so you didn't make no adjustments.
right. And you have to play this game like you have nothing on the board. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my mom's coat. She got this bad hunter olive green coat. I'm like, oh, that's nice. But yeah, uh, but yeah, like you have to play these games like you have 0 on the board.
I don't I don't get it. I mean, it almost goes back to getting the script. Like, what is the script for this week?
Yeah, and you know what? And normally, I've been waiting for
What's the NFL script? Like, who do they who do
right,
who do they want to win and who do they want to lose?
right. So from the time, because they normally will drop it like 5 o'clock our time, right? So from then, and even to now, I'm going back and forth to see, even in my text messages and emails, have I gotten the unofficial depth chart for this game against Green Bay? They have not released it yet. So I'm trying to figure out, are they playing musical chairs, like, because normally they have it like on Tuesday. Tuesdays is the team's off day. Technically, it would have been out between sometime yesterday evening or sometime today, and you could see who is planning to play
Mm-hmm.
for the next game. They haven't even released it yet.
Oh wow.
So is it going to come out sometime tomorrow? Because tomorrow's their practice game, and also, and I understand, like last week it went into overtime. They played over 70 minutes of football. So when they were gearing up for this game against Chicago, they didn't have a regular Wednesday practice. They treated it like what they do like on Mondays, which is like their walkthrough. They had a walkthrough on Wednesday. They had a full practice on Thursday. They had half of a practice on Friday, and the rest was team meetings. And then that's when the final report came out about who's going to be active and who's going to be ruled out. and who's going to be questionable and who's going to be doubtful. And then the practice report changed Saturday evening because Trayvon Diggs went from being set to go active to questionable. He was downgraded to questionable. So yeah, I'm still waiting for the depth chart to come out.
Gotcha. Okay, well, how much we gonna lose by? What's your prediction?
I don't even know. I didn't even think that far.
All I know is we gonna lose.
Yeah, I just know I had this game for an L anyway, and that was before the trade. Um, I don't think it's gonna be I had Chicago being a shootout, so I had like 30, 37, 35 for Chicago. Well, you saw how that panned out. Ended up being a blowout. I'm somewhere in the 20s. I don't know. Terry, I don't know. Check back with me on Saturday. I mean, no, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. What we gonna do?
Yeah, V. He got real cute. He got real
Yeah,
cute.
he got cute. Oh yeah, he got cute. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the score gonna be. Um, I don't know. They just need. I don't even want to say keep that clean because my frat brother plays for Green Bay, Rashawn Gary. Oh, he's going to come after him. He's going to come after Dak. I'm like, you probably just have to bubble wrap him. Bubble wrap him. I think that's my key to the game. Bubble wrap Dak. Um, I don't know. And if and by them, and I still say that Flus, even with like how we play Green Bay, not Green Bay, Chicago, Flus needs to design run defense, mix up the schemes. It could be zone, twists, stunts, blitzes. I don't even want to say a single high safety right now because we don't have the personnel for it. Um,
But why don't we?
and here's my thing, and this is a part of scouting too. Okay, Flus, if you want to run a zone, well, he did do this, a zone defense. We need a zone corner. Okay, so we drafted Savon Revel, but he sustained an ACL in college. I would have used another draft pick and got another corner.
Okay, I got a question. So they were in place before the draft.
Huh?
So the new Dallas staff was in place before the draft.
Yeah.
Mm.
And they went, and the only one that really didn't go was, and I'm surprised, was Jerry Jones. He did not go to this year's Senior Bowl. Even though the East West Shrine Bowl is played at the Star, but I
Hmm.
think they had it at AT&T this year. I have to I think it was at AT&T this year, but it's, Dallas hosts the East West Shrine Bowl, and he really wasn't there for that. He showed up the last day of the combine. He canceled all his appearances and everything. So the only people that was there, and this is another thing I tell people: listen to Stephen Jones, because Stephen Jones has been telling it like it is, and then Daddy come behind him and say something totally off the wall. So
Got
they had the media looking all kind of crazy.
Okay.
But Stephen Jones has been real upfront with a lot of things. But Stephen, it's been Stephen, Shoddy, Will McClay, and the Scouts. So the coaching staff will tell Will McClay, Shoddy, and the Scouts what kind of players they're looking for. Because right now the scouts are out at these colleges right now, and they're reporting.
I've been to Kentucky's one of their camps or practices, and scouts were there. 49ers was there, the Panthers have been there, and that was last season. I haven't been this season, but yeah,
V
they do come out
V
and
he
watch.
yeah, V he honestly didn't, and I'm gonna tell you, he honestly didn't build the defense around Parsons, because a lot of things were transpiring by the time that Flus came in, um and Shoddy came in. Shoddy and Will McClay had a meeting with Micah Parsons and said the things that you were doing when Dan Quinn and Mike McCarthy was in the building, we're not going to let it slide, because they're trying to do, one of the cultures is accountability. You're not going to get away with the things that you was getting away with when Mike McCarthy and Dan Quinn was in the building. He wasn't showing up to meetings, and if he showed up, he was late, or he would leave out of the meeting to do whatever it is that he wanted to do. In practice, he wasn't very engaged in practicing and everything. But because of the star name he is and all this other stuff, Dan Quinn
Let
and
them
Mike
get away with it.
McCarthy let it get away with. And they all, every player get what you see on the sidelines. Each player gets um a authorized Microsoft Surface tablet, and everything is not in binders no more. The whole playbook, the play calling, and everything is on there for your team,
Okay.
and you're not reading it, and you're
Mm.
not looking over it. So you're getting out on the field and you're doing what you want to do, and you're playing hero ball. You can't do that. So Michael was he didn't like that he was called out and everything. When Flus came into the building, well, back into the building, everybody on defense was there but him.
Mm.
That's when they were allowed to go back, because it, during the time that the season is over with, and before the every league year begins, you really can't have like no contact or anything. So the only time the coach, I mean, you could text them and say, "Hey, I'm your new coach. I can't wait, to meet you," and yada yada yada. I mean, you'll come up and like to the press conference to show support and all this other stuff and shake hands, welcome to the team, whatever, whatever. But you really can't have meetings and all this other stuff with them until they are allowed back into the meeting as all in April. So granted, OTAs, those are voluntary. You don't have to come to OTAs unless you want to. Um but the way that he was acting during mini camp in June, what happened in training camp in July, and even preseason, Flus already knew something was not going right. So from the time that mini camp started in June and everything, he was designing the playbook without Micah Parsons, with or without Micah Parsons. So he basically designed that playbook knowing that Micah Parsons will not be in the building for this season. That's what I'm saying. It's a lot of things that people don't know. And talking to Will McClay, they was trying to trade him 2 years ago.
Gotcha.
But
Okay.
the trade the trade equity and everything was too high for any team to take him.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna wrap this up because I gotta go. I got a game tomorrow instead of on Thursday, and then I got my podcast. So I got another late night tomorrow. But girl, thank you for the intel, Kelz.
Anytime.
And I know I got low energy today because it's hard for me to have high energy when we lose, and then I know we're getting ready to lose again this Sunday. So it's
Yeah.
hard for me to have any high energy right now about my Cowboys. But don't y'all come over here talking about my Cowboys. But I'm just saying,
Yeah, it's
so it's
just
hard. It's hard to have my energy up right now because we just took a loss, and then thanks, V, and then I think we're going to take another. We're going to take back to back losses.
yeah, we got mollywopped. It
Yes.
got
Yeah, it was embarrassing.
mollywopped.
And
That was
speaking of that, my daughter, her dad, and my one of my cousins, they were celebrating their birthday, and they went to the game. And my daughter is so mad that she wasted her money on that game. Yeah,
oh yeah. How was
she was she
the
was so
game?
mad, huh?
Oh, I just saw Alvin's thing. I was going to ask you when we
Oh,
started.
the
How
gala
was the
took
gala?
the gala did take a lot of my energy. It was absolutely amazing. So yes, yeah. So but I'm glad that because I was trying to find me a flight out Sunday morning and a flight to get me back Sunday night so that I can go to the game, and it just didn't work for me. And I'm so glad I didn't waste my money.
I like
I would have been my daughter was furious.
that was a
Because
beatable.
we're thinking, why would we think that we were getting ready to lose to the Bears? I mean, they've been garbage for the last 4 years, 4 seasons,
Yeah,
or longer than ever since they've been garbage since Lovey left. Since they fired Lovey Smith, they've been garbage.
but you know what? It was this one lonely. And I'm gonna let you go after this. It was this one lonely Bears fan that was at the bar where my club had their watch party, and he was like, "We haven't we've been trashed since the fridge," and I was like. But I'm like, they did have a little Super Bowl run
No,
back
they
in
went.
the
Yes,
what was it, the late
took them to the
'90s,
Super
early two
Bowl.
thousand.
Lovey had a great season. Lovey took them to the Super Bowl, and then they got rid of Lovey, and then they've been garbage.
Garbage sense.
Yes, since they've gotten rid of Lovey.
I'm just like that was such a beatable game.
It was beatable. Like the Eagles game was a beatable game.
Mm-hmm.
Those are both winnable games. So I don't know, but I have no confidence in them beating the Packers this weekend.
Well,
None.
I didn't have no confidence for that game either either way. Even with all this going on. But now that we're down some key players for some time. I honestly, even if they weren't down, I don't think they still would have made a difference. But now, because CD Lamb, like I said, but now CD Lamb is out. Who's going to take
Who's gonna pick
that
up?
other
And
side?
and I'm like, B, next man up. You know what I mean? Like to me, when a number one gets injured, it's your opportunity to step up. I mean, I know it's hard for me to not talk about my son. When my son was a true freshman in college in the SEC, and his first start was against Tennessee. His first start, he led the team in tackles because he was ready to play,
Yeah,
and he maximized his opportunity to finally get a start because he
right.
wanted to show the coaches that he deserved to start, and he wasn't starting. And I knew he wasn't starting because they don't like starting a true freshman unless there's they just don't.
Yeah,
No matter how good they are, they don't like starting freshmen.
my only thing is and I have a feeling they going to do this. Like they probably going to put Ryan Flournoy on the other side. But I have a feeling that they're going to rush Jonathan Mingo back early than when he needs to be, because he's on IR now, but he has to miss 4 games before he could be activated back to the 53-man
Well,
roster.
this is getting ready to be the fourth game. He's not going to play this weekend.
Yeah,
So
and they're
V,
not,
I disagree.
and they're not putting CeeDee Lamb
On IR.
on IR, but they put Tyler Booker on IR. So now we have one spot available now. But my thing is, did that one spot go to Clowney, or do we still have an additional spot? So if that 53 man went to Clowney, then that means Jalen Tolbert is going
to come back in as the quarterback, as the wide receiver, starting receiver. Yeah.
I'm gonna need
as soon as you get the depth chart, girl, send it to me.
I'm gonna send it to
Yeah.
you.
But V, you're right. They're all pros. Tom Brady was a backup. I mean, even Dak was a backup at one time. There's a lot of them that were backups, and then once they got their opportunity to start, they got their opportunity to start. And that's, to me, what the pros is all about. Everybody should be able to play on any given day.
Right.
You should be able to be ready to step up, next man up.
Right. And you know what?
That's why you made the 53-man roster in the
first.
You know
what? I'm looking at the practice squad now. If Jadeveon Clowney did not take that 53, like if he was already activated before. No, he was already activated. No, so he's not taking up a roster spot. So we have an additional one, because he was added, even though because he was a game day decision. He was a game day decision. They decided
not to play him.
So he's not. So he already has a roster spot. So that means we have one roster spot. I would not rush Jonathan Mingo back. Activate Treshaun Holden. I like Treshaun Holden.
Okay. Well, we're gonna see what they go with. I hope they're listening to you.
I hope so. I listen.
Mr. Brown Layshoff was absolutely fabulous. It was absolutely fabulous. Yeah. So we had our gala this past weekend for the Lexington African American Sports Hall of Fame, and it was absolutely fabulous.
I can't wait.
I love celebrating athletes.
I used to say I root for everything. I root for everyone Black, but now I gotta rephrase that. And oh gosh, I'm still like some of my top people that I talk to. Like I'm not on X, Twitter, or whatever the name is anymore. Mm-hmm. But some of them are on Blue Sky, and I think they just needed a couple of days to recover after all this, because I have not seen them. But I do have some some insight. The Jets, they will be down linebacker Quincy Williams against us on October 5th. He's been placed on IR, which means he's going to miss at least.
Because Justin Fields is my nephew, so Justin should be active this week, because from that
he had a concussion, right? Yeah.
So he should be activated this week.
So he missed this game. Because he got it last week, right?
I think so.
So 10 days, because they normally in protocol.
10 days.
Like 10 to 12 days. Concussion protocol. So he's still going to be on this week's practice report.
Okay.
So it will probably show up like limited. It's going to have concussion. He might be limited, and then. And I know some teams, they have different veteran days where they're off. So I know the Cowboys, for like some of our veteran days, is like a Wednesday. So if you see them on a practice report, if you see it is it non yeah NIR, which is non-injury related, and underneath it it will say like personal or veterans, whatever it is. That's like their Veterans Day. I don't know when the Jets Veterans Day is.
Okay.
So it would just follow. So it will probably be like limited. He's a limited participant, limited capacity participant. And then Thursday it can be limited, and then Friday he can have a full practice, and then you'll know if he'll be active. So yeah, so this week he'll probably be clearing out of concussion protocol.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. So I just I'm like, this game just really depleted me. I just
It was depressing watching this game. It really was, because I was on a high my Saturday night because I had went to the gala. It was absolutely fabulous, and I just knew my Cowboys was going to win, right? And then I'm sitting here watching this game, and I'm like, we are stinking it up. And I think that once CD Lamb went down, it was like the whole team was deflated.
right.
You know
Like
what I
they just
mean?
gave up. They
Like
just
it's like
gave
they
up.
already gave up. They was like, oh hell, if CD ain't playing, what, you know what I mean? It's like they had given up after CD went down.
Yeah.
You know, and right so, because when one of your, you know, when your dogs get injured, it does kind of kill your confidence for the team when you're so dependent on them making plays.
Yeah.
You know, and I
I'm
just feel like
just
he has to redeem himself from that first game against the Eagles. I think every game he's having to redeem himself from dropping those four passes that game.
yeah. And V, if you still on, I just sent a text inquiring about Kenny Clark. So as soon as I get anything, I'll let you know. I'll let you know. But I haven't seen anything as far as him missing any time. Yeah, we'll see. I'm like this. I mean, and honestly, I wouldn't. I mean, the way that he was treated when he was let go,
Hmm.
I would not even come back. But I will send Amari Cooper a "Hey Big Head" text. See if we could pull him out of retirement for a couple of games. Hey, boo.
That is funny.
I will. I don't because I mean he's not that far out from he's not that far out of the Cowboys, scheming and everything, because he was real good with Dak Prescott. I loved him, and he was also a good mentor for CD Lamb.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, oh, okay, V, if you still on, Kenny Clark, it looks like he will be active against Green Bay with him and Clowney. But everything, I think he still has to, more than likely they will still have him to see a specialist tomorrow when they have practice. But as of right now, on paper, he is scheduled to play with Clowney. Yep.
All right,
All
sis.
right, girl.
Now, for those uh keep the what out of this, the whole team is what? The whole team is trash. Okay, so do we have to have finally have how about this? This is what we're gonna do right here. How about that?
What you do? Who did you block? Who did you have a block party
I
for?
have no idea, but no idea. But we're not having that on my show. Um so this is what I'm thinking. We may have to move the show to 8 o'clock next week because I am exhausted and I need to have my energy up, win or lose.
That's
So
fine.
I'll let you all know if we move the time for next week's to 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It might even be as early as 7:30, but we'll see. But don't be surprised if we go on. Um, okay, so I deleted the first one, so now I have to block her. Ban loser. How about this? So now she's banned. How about that?
Hey, have a block party. Let me tell you, I've been having.
Because that's what we not getting ready to do on my show. Okay.
Yeah,
If you want to talk about the Cowboys, we gonna call and talk about the Cowboys. We gonna talk bad about them, but can't nobody else come on here and talk bad about
right.
them. Okay. All right, girl. Well, we'll see y'all next week. Y'all, thank y'all for coming on. And go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.